Okay. Hello, my name is Arctic, the Real Emo. Today, this is my first video. I played the Slenderman The Arrival game just to kind of jumpstart my YouTube channel. So, for my first video, I'm just gonna do the classes of emo, which I kind of came up with a couple months ago when I was, and last night I just kind of like revamped it into a little script so I don't get too lost. So yes, I'm just gonna start with that. I'm gonna read these off. So emo class number 1, the lowest ranking emos who try to be emo are semi-sane but actually just babies, and their emo phase doesn't last more than 3 to 8 months. This is kind of like the middle school emo phase, I guess, that some people go through, where they just kind of like have that really nasty attitude phase where they're kind of sane, so it's like, but then they jump out of it after they figure out who they actually are. So it's not a true emo phase, it's just one of those. Class 2, someone whose attitude is blank dry, I don't give a frick most of the time, but wouldn't claim the emo scene. This attitude may last 6 months or until death. This is basically someone who has just like a really bad attitude. They kind of dressed somewhat emo with like a beanie or a hoodie or something like that that would make normal people think that they're emo, but they're really not. So that's that class. Class 3, the pop culture emo. So there's actually like 2 different species of emo, as I have recently discovered. It's actually really sad. It's sad. So there's, so class 3 is kind of that new age pop culture emo. These are the preppy scene emos with the colorful hair dye, who think Panic at the Disco and 21 Pilots are emo, because they are not emo. They're not, okay? Gosh. They're in it for the style. Generally nice people, slightly extroverted, and their phase may last up to a year or more. This is, oh my gosh. So I got into a fight with this one person who is a class 3 emo. But yeah, she was like, 21 Pilots is so emo, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not emo. Shut up. Like, I just couldn't understand. And then she said that, well, their songs are so emotional. I'm like, you're talking about a completely different species of emo, aren't you? So there's 2 different species, and I'm gonna explain this to you. There is the emotional emo of society, and then there's actual emos who are society rejects and claim that emo roots whatever bloodthirst, I guess, very strongly, like me. To me, basically, like, to define emo is someone who is actually a depressed society reject, and no, yeah, it's like, so anything that society accepts, such as 21 Pilots and Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy, that's not emo, because that is widely accepted by society. That is pop culture society. Emos should not, real emos do not claim any part of pop culture society, or society in general, which is me. I am very much rejected by society, and I very much reject society as well. So we kind of have that nice balance, but also it's very lonely over here as a society reject, because you can't even go for society. What can you go for? Class number 5, or class number 4, actually. This is a bit more emo. It gets more true emo down the line, but class 1 is the is the lowest rank. So that should tell you something. Just a step up from Class 3, Class 4 emo wears mostly black and listens to mainstream emo bands such as Falling in Reverse, Sleeping with Sirens, and Pierce the Veil. They have the attitude of a Class 2 person, and this could last over 8 months to 3 years, may invest in some facial piercings, and dye their hair black. I'm just gonna say right now, Falling in Reverse, Sleeping with Sirens, and Pierce the Veil, those are those typical emo bands that I actually don't listen to. I don't know. They're not heavy. I am more of a metalhead. I'm a metalhead, so it's like Falling in Reverse, they're not totally emo. They're too mainstream for me. I mean, like, even My Chemical Romance, like, I could never get into My Chemical Romance because I don't know, they're so mainstream, I guess, that it's a little sad. I mean, like, Bless the Fall, I guess was mainstream. Not, they've changed. But, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like that I'm totally emo, whatever kind of phase that people get into, and it's like, I guess Pierce the Veil is a little bit more up there in that emo class. I mean, I have like maybe 1 or 2 songs by one of these bands that I just fall in. Let's see. I have one Sleeping with Sirens song. I don't think I have anything by Pierce the Veil, actually. I have a Get Scared song. I don't listen to those bands. Wonder why. But yes, so Class 4 is it's kind of emo. It's like that, they're like just barely a step up from Class 3, to be honest. Like, they're not true emos, to be honest. Class 5 is a little bit more of a true emo. Wears band merch, wristbands in black, piercings or near gauges, listens to heavy metal such as Of Mice and Men, Bless the Fall, or Under Oath. Yeah, so Of Mice and Men, that's kind of like the basic heavy metal scene, though. It's like, so you're not totally emo, but, like, you don't have to be emo to listen to Of Mice and Men, to appreciate their music. Their old music, at least. I love Austin Carlisle, by the way. But yeah, Under Oath is they're pretty heavy. They're pretty emo, I feel like. Bless the Fall was emo, since their Hollow Bodies album. I feel like they definitely started drifting off of their emo path, and now they're definitely not emo, so, as of the release of their latest album, Hard Feelings. So yeah, there's that. Shares poetic appreciation for dark poetry and meaningful lyrics. A bit of a shut-in, might be a horror fan, definitely not a romance fan, because I cannot tell you. I can't stand romance, okay? It's like, I can't stand drama. I can't do it. As emos don't believe in love. Yes, that's yep. Might have a few acoustic artists, wears hoodies and beanies and a hairstyle is down like a real emo. They may not have an I don't give a frick attitude all the time, but certainly can get into that whatever mood like a real emo. And that's just basically like that weird wall of depression that kind of hits you sometimes and you realize, like, wow, I really do not care at all because this is pointless. If that wasn't emo, I don't know what is. But yes. Acoustic artists. Say We Can Fly. His Between the Roses album is definitely emo, and I listen to that. I know that album by heart. He's really talented, actually, and he's experimenting a bit more with what I call pop culture sounds, which is kind of a bummer, personally, but he's really cool about it, so, yes. He is still doing his acoustic stuff, though, which makes me happy, because I would probably die without his album. Class 6, hardest core emo with Black, Black and more Black, who listens to bands like Snow White, Poison Bite, and Asking Alexandria. Lots of piercings, chains, black, edgy look, and more Black. Might be a really friendly person, but could also carve your eyes out with a plastic spoon type person. Might keep this style for more than 3 years. I would like to note that Asking Alexandria is actually really scary to me. I don't know why. I haven't looked at any of their lyrics, but when I hear their music, I'm just kind of like, okay, you guys, let's maybe turn this off. I don't know, I get like this weird, it's not entity. It's not aura either. What am I thinking of? It's like, I guess like a spiritual kind of thing. It's not spiritual. It's like, I don't know, it's probably just mental. But like this weird pressure when I listen to their music, or just kind of like makes me nervous kind of stuff like that for like no reason. Because I love heavy metal. Like heavy metal is my life. But it's like Asking Alexandria, there's something about them and their music that makes me shiver. So I don't actually listen to them. Snow White's Poison Bite is actually like a legit emo screamo band. Like, kid you not, they're really interesting actually. They're so emo. It's great. But yeah, the hardcore, that's like almost on the verge of goth basically. It's like, but they're not goth. There is a big difference between goth and emo. I've seen a lot of like class 5 emos wear Asking Alexandria shirts, and I'm just like, really? So maybe I'm just lame, but that's about that. A note. I posted a note. To define one as a true emo, one must be an utter reject of society and hates pop culture. That's what I said before, basically. Yeah. Like, you don't have to be totally sane to be emo if you're a reject of society. Like, if you just can't stand society and society can't stand you, and you're kind of in that emo scene, then yeah, you're just, then yeah, you're an emo. You're a true emo. But then again, you could also be a true punk and still be a society reject. True emos aren't totally seen sometimes, but still wear black when they can. I probably will actually change my shirt just because I have to go to work today. But it's like, I just want my closet to be black. Like, all of it just black. Band merch, black. All of it. So yeah. That's pretty much all I got for you. I have a class 7 that I wrote down, but I don't know. A rebel reject of society, middle finger to the world, black on black, happy as heck, in the pit of their favorite unknown heavy metal band. Yes. Alright. We're done. That's enough to get me pumped. Okay. But yeah. So basically, I guess I need to explain more on the... Did I already? I think I did. The new age emo. I already explained this, didn't I? But yes, those people that think Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy are emo bands are wrong. They're wrong. They're not true emos. They are just, they're lost and confused, okay? They're very lost and confused. Anyways, I'm Arctic, the real emo. You're probably... I'm gonna get a lot of hate comments for this, so whatever. I guess I'll try and post Wednesday, but who knows?